This is the video review for Transformers Dark of the Moon Leader Class Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a figure that a lot of people have been saying they don't want or don't like, partially because it's kind of like a smaller version of the Battle Ops Bumblebee, which was an okay figure that loaded down with too many gimmicks. But see, the thing is, this figure actually has quite a bit of a different design and the most unique Bumblebee transformation we've had in a while, at least for the Camaro design, and honestly has a very nice fit and finish, and I quite like it. It's not the best figure in the world, and certainly not the best Leader class figure in the world, but I do like it. It does have some problems, but I'll get to those when I get to those. This is the car mode. It looks very nice, rolls very well, and Bumblebee does come with a mech tech weapon. It's a big battery pack that sticks up here off of this little clip in here. I have no idea where that is, but it doesn't really matter because as soon as I got home with this figure, I took it off and threw it. I didn't throw it away, I threw it into a spare parts bin, never to be seen again. And really, it wasn't that impressive. You just pulled back a lever and stuff came forward and made noises, but the stuff didn't always come forward the same way. Like the gears would skip, and it didn't look right because it was the only mech-technized part of the figure, and it was just slapped onto the back, and it didn't fit thematically with the rest of the figure because the rest of the figure is basically a car as it normally would be. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. So yeah, it's quite nice. Very nice fit and finish. You can tell where some things are, but for the most part, pretty nice looking underside and very clean car mode. It's just the right size so that it has size to it, has a lot of weight to it, but it's not super giant like Battle Ops Bumblebee was. It's satisfying in this mode. To transform it, you'll start by opening the doors, pulling this down, and pop this up. And doing that will allow you to start pulling the arms out, and the arms are on these weird, pull these out. Pull out and up. Doing that will allow you to pull out the arms, and the arms are on these kind of weird brown joints. And I need to rotate the camera up a little bit. The arms are on these weird brown joints, and they will just hang there for now. We have quite a few things we need to do. So come back here, pull this up, pull this back until it puts into place. You'll need to rotate these forward because there are little brown stops in there. Pull the tires out of here and out of here, and then rotate these forward and get the arms out of the way. Collapse them into the chest area here. Well, wait, before we do that, pull these up. It's quite a bit of detail to just how everything can kind of move out of the way. And then with that up, we'll bring the arms up, and these will peg into the side where the wheel wells are. And you can start straightening out the arms if you want. And that's quite a bit of the upper body. Now we need to focus on the lower body so we can get this chest plate up into place. What you do is you'll split the legs, rotate these up and out of the way, and then just start straightening them. Rotate these out, pull these down, and then just start spreading the feet. You can pull this toe out here, You can pull it out, but it doesn't add anything to stability, so I typically leave it in. And this will rotate up front. Do the same on the other side. Pull everything out, rotate these up. And then what we'll do is, once we have all this stuff back here out of the way, we'll push the body up into place. And doing that will shorten the torso and allow us to push this up. And that will lock the chest completely. And now we can start moving things so that he looks right, pose and stuff. Fold this down and in. Actually, I probably did that backwards. Need to fold this in first. Yeah, there we go. And push this up, push this into place, and now we're starting to get a robot mode. Pull this up, this right here up, pull out this little brown piece in here. He's kind of a big figure, and with his wings and stuff, it's hard to keep him all on camera. I'm pretty tall, so excuse me while I go off camera for a minute. Pull that out, and this will grab onto this piece right here. And now we are, for the most part, done. You can leave these wings up and out, kind of like in the movie, but I prefer to leave them down. They just stay out of the way better for me that way. And I think it looks best for him to kind of, it makes him different. It makes him look different than the other Bumblebees, and it makes him look very armored, which is, I think, kind of the aesthetic that Hasbro is going for here, getting an armored Bumblebee. And I like that. He's not fat, he's not rotund, he's armored. And with that distinction made, I think this figure actually looks quite good. And one thing I really like about the chest is it kind of looks like a big cat. Here are the eyes, here and here. Here are the whiskers in here, or the roots for the whiskers. And in here is all the mouth detail and, well, more whiskers here and nose. I think it looks like a pretty menacing big cat. On this arm he has his gun, and this can be telescoped out. And he'll bring this thing with him. You can fold it over like this, kind of make it look kind of like it did in the movie. Leave it out sort of like a bayonet. Keep it folded back. Whatever you like. It doesn't really quite do anything, just what you imagine it can do. I would have preferred if he had another hand, but the gun isn't as offensive as I thought it would be. And speaking of a hand, I forgot to fold this out. So, for the most part, a very nice looking figure. A different transformation than most other Bumblebees, and it works pretty well for me. The one thing I cannot stand about this guy are his legs. Because either they're super loose or they're super tight, because this outward joint here, it's on a ratchet. Out of the box, it's either here, here, or here, which is not conducive to posing because there isn't any middle ground. So I sanded down the pawls inside the ratchets, and while that did work, it made them a bit too loose, so this. And then the other ratchets in his legs are kind of loose too, and that's really the problem with this guy, is that despite all how cool he is, and he is pretty cool looking, he's kind of floppy within the bounds of the pawl of the ratchet. His posability is pretty nice, goes back, forward, out, rotates above the elbow, and he has 180 at the elbow. Here he has a thumb and fingers, although it's a curling iron arm. Legs go forward, back, out, then 90 at the knee, although the thigh here is very short. Rotate below the knee, and then the legs have a decent amount of range to them too. Although, if you try and pose the foot, there's every chance that you will move this hinge up here. And that is a design flaw. That should have been a ratchet or something so that joint was a lot tighter. Because if you can see, there's some super glue residue from trying to tighten it. It didn't work very well. I guess you could see that as posability, but I don't know, it doesn't really work for me. It's just loose. So if that problem were fixed, I would like this guy a lot better, because that really is the only problem I have with this guy outside of the ratchets, which is something I can fix. I can fix the ratchets. So as for posing, even though he does not have a thigh swivel, he has a shin swivel, he actually poses pretty nicely. Those big feet down there really help him stay stable, and he does have a nice aesthetic to him. It's a little bit of a pain to pose with him. Anyway, I quite like him. He does have some flaws that have kept me from really playing with him as much as I would like, because it's like, ooh, I want to play with him, he's so cool, but then, ugh, I remember that, and then it's, I'll pick another guy. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching.